Well, Gulnur Aybet joins us now for more on the NATO summit in Istanbul. She's head of political science department at Bahçeşehir University. Thank you very much for coming and talking to us, especially now that I've got the name right. Can I ask you, first of all, what is Turkey hoping to achieve from this NATO summit?
Well, I think, this is a very standard meeting of the military committee, which is the highest military body in NATO that meets once a year in the allied country. But it's very significant that's being held in Turkey, especially after the foreign ministers summit that happened in May. And I think one of the reasons for having these two summits, one political and one military, back to back, so close, is because although NATO and Turkey relations have been very cooperative, very good. I mean, Turkey has the second largest army in NATO. They're involved in a lot of NATO missions. But recently, in the past year, there have been speculations in the press that Turkey-NATO relations, sometimes unfoundedly, were not that good. And I think, holding these very largely visible summits back to back in Turkey have been very good. But with this particular military summit, because these are the chiefs of staffs of all the NATO chiefs of staffs will be there, and therefore it will be chaired by the head of the general staff in Turkey, General Hulusi Akar. And of course, he's the man who's in charge of the current operations against the outlawed PKK. So in terms of drawing more alliance solidarity in Turkey's war against this terror threat, I think it's very, very significant.
Is there any importance, as far as you're concerned, about the location now? Because obviously, I suppose there's the AK Party Congress in Ankara. Is that a reason why the NATO summit is now being held in Istanbul rather than Ankara like it was last time?
Well, I mean, I don't really think the AK Party summit had a lot to do with it, because the foreign ministers summit was in Antalya. Wherever I think they can manage to have a venue that's suitable for security as well, they'll choose that. So, I mean, NATO's very good at, they have the planning team about choosing these venues with the host nation. So I would think it has very little to do with the AK Party Congress in Ankara.
So why then in Istanbul this time?
Well, Istanbul, it's the largest city. It's got a historical setting, and I think that's kind of significant that it's there. I mean, NATO's held a lot of meetings in Istanbul. The summit in 2004 was here, and also recently, I was a speaker at the Gulf States, the Istanbul Cooperation Initiative Partner States working group was held in Istanbul at the end of 2014. So, I mean, these do tend to. I mean, Istanbul is one of their favorite venues. To host it, because they're quite used to the environment here, and that's why.
Meanwhile, of course, anyone who's visited Turkey knows the national pride Turkish people have. Turkey is a strong country. What is Turkey hoping to get out from NATO?
Well, there's two sides to that question. Why does NATO need Turkey as well? I mean, obviously, Turkey has the second, as I mentioned, largest army in NATO. But I think the NATO cooperation, let's remember that Turkey joined NATO in 1952. So it's a very long history there of military as well as political cooperation. And NATO does have an integrated military structure. So Turkey is very much involved in that structure, in all these various operations. And I think now is the time for allied countries to stand together, especially when there's such turbulence. I mean, you look at the agenda of this meeting, they have so much to talk about, from Afghanistan to the Western Balkans, to the ongoing mission in Kosovo. Although NATO is not involved as an organization in Syria, individual NATO countries are. So there's that to consider as well. So, I mean, there's a huge plate of issues and they're largely military issues because these are ongoing missions. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Professor, for coming and talking to us from Bahçeşehir University.
Yes. Thank you.